A 21-year-old woman named Lila Carter, daughter of powerful Councilwoman Marianne Carter, stands before Judge Frank Caprio. She doesn't look nervous. She doesn't look intimidated. She looks entitled-like. The courtroom is beneath her. Like everyone inside works for her mother. Like consequences are optional for people like her. She steps up to the podium, flips her hair, pops her gum, and says the line that instantly freezes the room. "My mother will shut this place down if you don't fix this." Judge Caprio doesn't react at first. He simply watches her with the calm, quiet stare of a man who has spent decades dealing with every kind of attitude imaginable. But this is different. This isn't fear. This isn't confusion. This is blatant, weaponized privilege. The clerk reads the case. State of Rhode Island versus Lila Carter. Charges: speeding 48 miles per hour in a 25 zone. Failure to stop at a stop sign, and verbal harassment of a police officer. Lila sighs loudly, exaggerated, dramatic. "Oh my God, can we just skip all that? It sounds way more serious than it is." Caprio nods slowly. "Miss Carter, good morning." "Morning," she replies, without looking at him scrolling on her phone. Caprio raises an eyebrow. "Miss Carter, please put the phone away." Still scrolling, she responds, "Relax. I'm texting my mother. She wants updates." The entire courtroom stops breathing. Caprio's voice becomes firmer. "Miss Carter, this is a courtroom, not a cafeteria. Put the phone away." She rolls her eyes, drops the phone into her designer purse, and says, "Fine. But I'm telling you right now, none of this actually matters. My mother handles these things. Your mother does not handle this court," Caprio replies. Lila smirks. "She kind of does. She's on the council that approves your budget. If she wants, she can shut this entire operation down." A wave of whispers sweeps across the courtroom. Caprio sits back. "Miss Carter, did you just threaten this court?" Lila shrugs casually. "Not a threat, just information." Caprio opens the file. "According to the police report, you were caught speeding almost 50 in a residential neighborhood. When Officer DeLuca pulled you over, you reportedly said, 'Do you know who my mother is?'" Lila interrupts. "Yeah, because he was being rude. And I said it nicely. I was just letting him know he made a mistake stopping me." Caprio's eyes narrow. "A mistake?" She nods confidently. "Yeah, he's new. He probably doesn't know how things work around here yet." Caprio continues reading. "The report also says you refused to give your license and registration because it was cold outside," she says loudly. "I wasn't going to stand there freezing while he took his sweet time. He could have just looked me up." Caprio looks up from the file. "Miss Carter, did you tell the officer that you'd have his job?" She shrugs again. "I mean, yeah, but that's just because he kept acting like I was some random person. Like he didn't know who my family is." A gasp ripples through the gallery. Caprio folds his hands. "Miss Carter, do you believe your mother's political position gives you special treatment under the law?" "Of course," she answers instantly. "Why else go into politics? My mother tells me all the time, we worked hard so you wouldn't have to put up with nonsense." This is nonsense. Caprio's jaw tightens, but he stays composed. "Miss Carter, do you understand that speeding through a neighborhood full of families is dangerous?" She waves him off. It was dark. Nobody was around. Officer DeLuca states there were 2 children riding bikes on the sidewalk. "Sidewalk," she snaps, "not the street." Caprio closes the file slowly. Everyone senses the shift. "Miss Carter, is there anything you want to say before I review the video evidence?" "Yes," she replies. "I want to say that we should just skip all this and call my mom. She'll clear everything up. She always does." Caprio nods. "Miss Gable," he says to the clerk, "please note that the defendant is requesting her mother intervene to influence the outcome of this case." Lila scoffs. "Stop making everything sound so dramatic. My mother and you know each other. She'll talk to you. She fixed this. This is a court of law." Caprio responds. "Your mother has no authority here." Lila laughs. "You keep saying that like it means something." Caprio exhales slowly. "Very well. Miss Gable, please play the dashcam video." The screen lights up. The courtroom watches as Lila's white Mercedes flies through a stop sign without slowing. A second angle shows 2 children pulling their bikes farther onto the sidewalk as her car speeds past. Then the audio of the stop begins. Officer DeLuca approaches. "Good evening, ma'am. License and registration, please." Lila scoffs in the video, doesn't roll down the window at first. then cracks it just enough for her voice to slip out. "Do you know who my mother is?" "Ma'am, I need your license, and I'm not giving you anything until you apologize." "Apologize for what, ma'am?" "For stopping me. My mother is Councilwoman Carter. I'm not someone you can ticket, ma'am. Please step out of the vehicle. If you don't walk away right now, I swear I'll have my mother get you reassigned to traffic duty on the worst street in this city. You have no idea who you're messing with." Gasps flood the courtroom. The video ends. Caprio turns to Lila, "Miss Carter. Is that your voice on the recording?" She nods proudly. "Yes, and thank you for playing it. Now, maybe everyone will understand that this entire situation is unnecessary." Caprio clasps his hands. "Miss Carter, what you said to Officer DeLuca is one of the most blatant attempts at political intimidation I've witnessed in my years on this bench." Lila brushes imaginary dust from her sleeve. "It's not intimidation, it's reality. Officer DeLuca works for the department my mother oversees. You work in a building my mother funds. Everyone should know their place." Silence spreads through the room like a shockwave. Judge Caprio sits back in his chair. Slowly, deliberately, "Miss Carter, you have just made this much worse for yourself." "Oh, please," she replies, rolling her eyes. "Just call my mom and let's get this over with." Caprio leans forward. "No, I'm calling the consequences. And the entire courtroom knows this is where everything changes." The courtroom feels different now. The air is heavier. Even Lila senses something shift, but she still believes she's untouchable. She still believes her mother's power will rescue her like it always has. Judge Frank Caprio rests his hands on the bench. "Miss Carter, let me explain where we stand." Lila leans forward like she's waiting for a restaurant menu. "Great, let's wrap this up so I can go." Caprio doesn't blink. "You are facing 3 violation speeding, failure to stop, and harassment of an officer. Those are the legal issues. But your behavior today has created something far more serious. The attempted misuse of political power to influence a court of law." Lila scoffs. "Please, every politician uses influence. That's literally the point." Whispers ripple through the courtroom again. Caprio lifts a hand, and silence falls instantly. "Miss Carter, tell me exactly what you believe your mother can do here." Lila answers without hesitation. "She can shut this place down." Caprio tilts his head. "She can shut down the entire court system. If she wants," Lila says, "she can cut your funding. She can move people. She can replace people. She's done it before." Caprio studies her with a slow, deep breath, not anger, but disappointment. "Miss Carter, I knew your mother long before she was elected. I knew her when she was just a young mother, attending neighborhood meetings, hoping to make the city safer. I don't believe she would support what you're doing here today." Lila rolls her eyes so hard her head tilts. "You don't know my mother. She protects her family. She always backs me." Caprio keeps his gaze steady. "Miss Carter, has your mother ever told you the difference between influence and corruption?" She laughs. "Influence is when powerful people help each other. Corruption is when poor people complain about it." Gasps. Audible, sharp gasps. A man in the back whispers, "She's finished." Lila hears it, but doesn't care. Caprio removes his glasses slowly, folds them, and sets them on the bench. That's the move everyone knows. The move right before something unforgettable happens. "Miss Carter," Caprio says quietly, "I want you to listen carefully to the next question. This is your opportunity to show some understanding of the seriousness of what you've done." Lila shrugs. "Fine ask. Do you believe laws apply to everyone equally?" "No," she says instantly. "That's just what people say to make themselves feel better. The truth. Some families matter more. Some names matter more." Caprio leans back. The courtroom is frozen. "Miss Carter, thank you," he says calmly. "You've just clarified everything." Lila smirks. "Good. Now can we call We're not calling your mother," Caprio cuts in, "but she will be informed of everything that's been said here today." Lila rolls her eyes. "Whatever, she fix it." Caprio nods slowly. "Miss Gable, please bring up Officer DeLuca's disciplinary record." The clerk types quickly. "Your Honor, Officer DeLuca has 0 complaints on record. Commended twice for professionalism." Caprio nods. "Thank you. And please pull up Councilwoman Carter's public statements regarding police accountability." The clerk reads, "Councilwoman Carter has repeatedly stated, 'No one, not even my own family, should be above the law.'" Lila, "That's political talk," she snaps. "It doesn't apply to real life." Caprio turns toward her. It applies today. To you, Lila shifts uncomfortably for the first time. Look, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just annoyed. Caprio nods. Annoyed enough to tell an officer you could ruin his career. Annoyed enough to tell this court, your mother will shut it down. Annoyed enough to claim your name places you above the law. I was just mad, she repeats louder. People get mad. He pulled me over for no reason. Miss Carter, Caprio interrupts. He pulled you over because you were driving almost 50 miles per hour in a residential zone. 2 children were present. Your driving put them in danger. She bites her lip. They were on the sidewalk. Had you swerved, had you lost control, had anything happened, you could have destroyed lives. Your privilege does not protect anyone from physics. Lila crosses her arms. Okay, so fine. I'll pay the ticket. Caprio shakes his head. Miss Carter, this is not about a ticket anymore. Silence. This is about accountability. Something you have never faced. Lila snaps. Can we stop pretending this is a big deal? Caprio gazes at her evenly. Miss Carter, for you, consequences are a big deal because you have never experienced them. She scoffs again, but her voice cracks slightly. I'm not scared of you. I don't want you to be scared of me, Caprio replies. I want you to respect the law. My mother, your mother, Caprio interrupts sharply, is not on trial. You are, for the first time, Lila falters. Her confidence slips just an inch. Caprio turns to the clerk. Miss Gable, please read the section of state law regarding intimidation of law enforcement officials. The clerk reads, any threat made with the intent to influence or alter the actions of a law enforcement officer constitutes intimidation and is punishable by fine, probation, or community service. Lila's eyes widen. That's not what I did. Caprio doesn't raise his voice. You told Officer DeLuca you could destroy his career. You said you would contact your mother to have him reassigned. That is intimidation. It was just words, she argues, her voice shaking. Just anger. Words can be weapons, Caprio replies, especially when spoken by someone with power. He pauses, letting the lesson hang in the air. Miss Carter, do you understand the severity of what you did? I said I was annoyed. She snaps again. I didn't mean it like that. It's just people always make things more dramatic, because of who I am. No, Caprio says softly. People are reacting the way they should. You're the one who doesn't understand the weight of your actions. Lila folds her arms tighter. Are you done? Caprio sighs. No, we're just getting started. He picks up his pen. Miss Carter, before I issue my ruling, is there anything at all you want to say that shows even a small amount of accountability? Everyone watches. This is her chance. Her last chance. Lila rolls her eyes and says the 7 words that seal her fate. Can we just call my mother now? The courtroom erupts in murmurs. Caprio closes his file. Very well, he says quietly. We will proceed to sentencing. And the entire room knows whatever's coming next will change Lila Carter's life forever. The courtroom goes silent. You could hear a pen drop. Judge Frank Caprio rests both hands on the bench. He isn't angry. He isn't emotional. He's calm to calm. And everyone knows that is the most dangerous version of him. Miss Carter, he begins, you have made one thing extremely clear. You believe consequences are optional. Lila leans back, arms crossed, trying to look unfazed. I believe unnecessary drama is optional. Yes, she mutters. Caprio ignores the attitude completely. For your speeding violation 47 miles per hour in a 25 zone, I am imposing a fine of $300. Lila barely reacts. For failure to stop at a posted sign $150, she yawns, pretending to be bored. For harassment and intimidation of Officer DeLuca, Caprio continues. I am imposing the maximum allowable fine of $500. She rolls her eyes. Okay, so that's what? $950? My mom will reimburse me. The courtroom shifts uncomfortably. She still doesn't get it. Caprio folds his hands. We're not finished. Lila's smirk falters. Miss Carter, he says, your conduct today demonstrated a profound misunderstanding of power. You believe your mother's position shields you. You believe political influence places you above accountability. She shrugs. I mean, kind of, Caprio nods. And that belief must be corrected. Lila shifts in her seat. What does that mean? Caprio lifts a document from his bench. First, I am placing you on 6-month probation for intimidation of a law enforcement officer. Lila freezes. Probation? For what? For threatening an officer with political retaliation. I told you I was just upset. Nobody takes that literally. The law does, and so do I. Lila shakes her head. No, I'm not doing probation. Caprio continues without acknowledging her objection. Second, as part of this probation, you will complete 120 hours of community service with the City Ethics and Accountability Office. Lila's jaw drops. What even is that? You will participate in organizing public seminars on ethics in government and will assist in producing educational materials regarding misuse of political influence. Her face turns bright red. I'm not doing that. People will know? Caprio nods once. That is the point. You want to embarrass me, she demands. You embarrassed yourself, Caprio replies calmly. I am simply ensuring the lesson stays with you. Lila slams her hand on the podium. This is ridiculous. Nobody else gets punished like this. Nobody else walked into my courtroom threatening to shut it down. Lila glares. You're making an example of me because of who my mother is. Caprio remains steady. I am holding you accountable because of who you are. Your mother has spent years serving the people of this city. You spent 10 minutes disrespecting them. Lila opens her mouth to argue again, but Caprio raises one hand. There is more. The entire courtroom tenses. As part of your probation, you will deliver a personal written apology to Officer DeLuca, acknowledging your misconduct and its impact on his career and safety. She blurts, I'm not apologizing to that rookie. He started this. If you fail to provide the apology, Caprio says, you will violate probation, and I will impose the alternative penalty available under state law. Lila swallows. What penalty? Caprio's tone becomes razor-sharp. Up to 10 days in the adult correctional institutions, the courtroom explodes in murmurs. Lila's mouth falls open. Jail for a traffic stop. For intimidation of a police officer, Caprio corrects, which you committed. On camera. And again in this courtroom. Lila shakes her head. This is insane. My mother your mother, Caprio interrupts firmly, is not responsible for your actions. You are. Lila is trembling now anger. Fear or both. Caprio continues. Additionally, you will attend a civic responsibility education program, and upon completion, you will present a short speech reviewed and approved by this court on the importance of equal treatment under the law. She nearly screams. To who? To the same high school civics classes your mother has spoken to for years. Lila's face drains of color. I'm not doing that. I won't. Caprio leans forward. Then you will be found in violation of probation, and the jail sentence will be imposed. She stares at him, eyes wide. This court is abusing its power. This court, Caprio says quietly, is demonstrating its power, fairly, lawfully, and without favoritism. The silence is suffocating. Lila tries again. This is going to ruin me. Caprio softens just slightly. Miss Carter, the purpose of punishment is not to ruin a person. It is to change them. He lets that sit for a moment. You are not being destroyed today. You are being reshaped. Lila looks down. For the first time, tears pool in her eyes, not from remorse, but from fear and humiliation. Caprio speaks gently now. Your mother is a leader. She earned that through service. She did not hand that responsibility to you, nor did she ask you to weaponize her position. Lila's lip trembles. Caprio finishes firmly. You will complete the fines. You will complete the probation. You will complete the community service. You will apologize. And you will learn, perhaps for the first time, that the law does not bend for anyone, not even the daughter of a councilwoman. He taps his gavel. Sentencing is complete. Lila stands frozen. She doesn't move. She doesn't speak. She doesn't blink. She only whispers, Please, don't tell my mother. Caprio looks at her gently. Miss Carter, your mother will be proud of you when you learn accountability, not when you escape it. The bailiff approaches. Miss Carter, please step to the clerk to sign your probation documents. Lila walks slowly, like someone who just discovered gravity for the first time. The courtroom watches her quiet, stunned, changed. Outside the courthouse, word spreads instantly. By evening, the headline circulates everywhere. Councilwoman's daughter, sentenced by Judge Caprio privilege, meets justice. And for the first time in her life, Lila Carter learns something money, influence, and family power could never teach her: respect.